All right, you got the Wacko one here, Wacko Bob here, and I'm giving this to you here because I know I need to give this to you guys here. It's been a while since I've done something inside here, and because I love doing what I do outside, and yeah, I'm wearing my baggy shirts here. The shirts that used to be just right for me are now baggy, with all the weight loss I've had. But I do want to do something here. It's also been a long time since I've talked wrestling, and I have to say this. It is. I did a Facebook Live just yesterday, and I had a question asking me about the loss of Georgie Animal Steel and Ivan Koloff, and I talked about how it broke my heart that both of them passed away because I've talked to both of them on the phone on more than one occasion, and Ivan Koloff used to be on speed dial with me, and he was interviewed on my wrestling show 2 times, Ivan Koloff. And more recently, over the last couple years, I also got to know a wrestler I grew up watching more than any of them, Cowboy Ron Bass. Mainly because I lived here in Florida, and Cowboy Ron Bass was championship wrestling from Florida, along with the likes of Dusty Rhodes, Barry Windham, uh, Billy Jack Haynes, Kendo Nagasaki. I mean, it's just, again, I'm deeply saddened by the loss of all these guys. And Cowboy Ron Bass, I just found out today, he had passed away. I literally woke up at about 4 o'clock in the morning to me getting a message that Cowboy Ron Bass had passed away, and I was shocked. I didn't want to believe it because I mean, Cowboy Ron Bass, I mean, he and I did talk. He was talking a lot of business. Kat Vecchione was also on that call with me too, and I got to talk to him, talk to Cowboy Ron Bass that way. Never got him on my show. I wanted to get him on my show for the business that he does do, and so he could help promote that. But a lot of things basically did happen, and I wish I had gotten the chance to have him on my show because I love getting the wrestlers that I grew up on, especially the wrestlers that I got to watch from day one when I started watching wrestling. Cowboy Ron Bass was one of them. He was, I got to see him do a lot of things. He did an arm wrestling match in Florida with Big John Studd. He had two big programs going on. One with Angela, or four big programs actually. Angela Mosca and Kendo Nagasaki as a babyface, which were classic programs, and probably even bigger classics when he was a heel, working with Barry Windham and Dusty Rhodes. And most people will remember him for WWE. Most of your average wrestling fans, or your younger, more hardcore wrestling fans, will know him for his time in WWF as Outlaw Ron Bass. Of course, he had his head shaved by Brutus Beefcake, and a lot of things happening there. I miss Ron Bass. It's just, and I'm saddened by his loss. I haven't talked to him, in about maybe a year, a little less than a year. I did send him invites to some of my network shows. Of course, he said he couldn't make it, but he recognized. And I did talk. Like I said, I had always had the opportunity to talk to Cowboy Ron Bass, and I'm saddened by his loss. And just like I am with Ivan Koloff and Georgie Animal Steel. And this year has not been good, especially for me, where it comes to wrestling, due to the fact that of course, everyone knows me probably not just for my Wacko in the Morning show, but the Wacko Radio Network, but doing the dark match for about 3+ years, from 2007 to 2009, or 2006 to 2009, and it's like I said, it saddens me. I mean, I grew up on Cowboy Ron Bass. I got to see him wrestle in Florida, Mid-Atlantic. I even saw him do some stuff in Memphis a couple of times. It's just, like I said, a real loss. And for those that don't know, Cowboy Ron Bass, really, a lot of people say, well, Cowboy Ron Bass, he wasn't on the same level as guys like Dusty Rhodes and Barry Windham were, and where it comes to Florida. And Bull. People here in Florida knew who Cowboy Ron Bass was. And for that loss to go on, it hurts. It hurts. I mean, Jimmy Snuka gone, Nicole Bass gone. Oh man, it's just a real who's who. Georgie Animal Steel gone. Uh, just like I said, we're losing guys left and right, especially in the wrestling business. Ivan Koloff, Cowboy Ron Bass. There was a midget wrestler, I forgot his name, but I mean that's 6 people. I mean we're looking at as losing here in the wrestling business, and Jimmy Snuka was another one who I also I wasn't buddy with Jimmy Snuka. I did interview him, and he was actually down here in Florida, and I didn't know it. And the promoter Dan Ackerman, who at CCW, was also on that interview with him, who is a promoter down here. Dan Ackerman and we got to know each other really well, and was very happy to meet him. And actually, Dan Ackerman came on more shows even after Jimmy Snuka, because the interview with Jimmy Snuka was not the best. It wasn't the best day for Jimmy Snuka, and it really wasn't working out. I also produced an interview with Jimmy Superfly Snuka, with Jonathan Clark doing the interview, and it really just it really pains me to see what had happened here to to not just Jimmy Snuka, but the loss period of what's happened. It's mind-boggling. It's crazy. It's too many things. Too many things all rolled into one. I feel that if something could have been if something could have been helped to where wrestlers had more insurance and were insured more and were able to do more out of the business, as far as their financial future and their health goes, it would be great. I'm not relating this one to wrestling at all, with Bass's passing, because Bass hasn't wrestled in, before his passing, he didn't wrestle a full-time schedule in since probably 1990, maybe 1989. I'd say 1990. So people know where that is, and just like I said, I'm saddened by this loss. I really think it's really painful, and I was looking at a lot of what Ron Bass did when he went heel, when he became a heel in Florida, with the exception really to Kevin Sullivan in the 80s, and I'm referring to wrestling in the 80s, with the exception of Kevin Sullivan, you'd have to have Ron Bass there as probably the second biggest heel. The second. And like I said, it's sad to see what happened. Of course, Florida, Mid-Atlantic, Memphis, WWE. I got to see Cowboy Ron Bass do it. His partner was Rick Harris, Black Bart. I should probably get in touch with Rick Harris. I've never talked to him. I should probably get in touch with him. Maybe bring him on for a show. I'm connected to. I do have a connection to Kendall Windham. Never personally talked to him. Maybe I could get him. But I'll see what I could do. With what we're talking about, with me and Rick Ryder and The Rod and Beautiful Ben talking about a dark match reunion. Maybe we could get these people on, and maybe we could pay tribute to Cowboy Ron Bass. I remember what I did when the internet was just a baby and Gordon Soley had passed away. I wound up buying a lot of paper and a lot of ink for a printer, and I created the Gordon Soley tribute book of things with Gordon Soley. Because that man was a legend. I wish, and of course, now that I got into radio on the internet and whatnot, of course, people got to see me do a tribute to Dusty Rhodes. And like I said, I am very saddened, and I'm gonna probably do something. I'll let people here on YouTube know. I'll let people on Facebook Live know, and on Facebook period, I should say, know if we will do something. I'll let my network followers know about possibly maybe having a tribute, something going on now for the loss of not just that. Championship Wrestling from Florida. We've just suffered losses over the years. Blackjack Mulligan, Dusty Rhodes, Cowboy Ron Bass, Mike Graham a few years earlier. It's just the loss, I'm surprised. I am surprised, and it deeply saddens me. But with that being said, Cowboy Ron Bass, rest in peace. Yeah, I enjoyed talking business and talking wrestling with you, talking shop. But rest in peace, and hope your bullwhip Betsy is going to be okay. Thank you. We love you.